Three, two, one, go.
Welcome to What's the Score for Everton's biggest game of the season. I think we can say that with some confidence, can't we, Matt?
Yeah, of course, yeah. We all want to win trophies, don't we? And if we don't win tonight, we're not going to win a trophy again for at least another year. So, absolutely, mate, yeah. Just absolutely loving the shirt choice. Obviously, half.
Yeah, so this actually was the last time we played them in the FA Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
94, 95. Ellen Road, best game I've ever been to, that ever.
Best game you ever been. You've been to some great ones as well.
Yeah, no, that was the best ever.
Best performance you've ever seen from an Everton team, would you say that?
What's that?
Best performance you've ever seen from any Everton team?
I don't know. I think the other one that sticks out is the 5-0 against Man United in 85. That was dead unexpected, but I don't remember that much about it. I remember it made a big impact on me at the time, but yeah, it possibly was though, because Spurs were a good side and we were wretched for half of that season. So to pull out that display and absolutely blather them off the park, because they weren't even in the game really. They shouldn't have scored because it was never a penalty. The Klinsmann scored. And that was the only goal we conceded on that whole FA Cup run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 penalties. So sort of shows you what you can do with a good defence.
Yeah, it's interesting to ask you that because I thought so we spoke to Joe, obviously Joe Royal. He said, this is a fellow who's been part of some of our greatest ever sides. In the 60s, was around for the 80s when we were great as well, and obviously went on to managers. And listen, I know he's obviously going to be biased because he was in charge, but he described it as one of the great Everton performances. So I was only 6, so don't remember it obviously, but.
Yeah, it definitely was, because I think, again, because it was so unexpected. We got some good results up until then that season anyway. We beat the Reds, we beat Man United at home. So the team was obviously on the up, but I think to pull that performance out the bag, and I think after that day, I know it's easy to say in hindsight, names on the cup and we're definitely going to win it. I don't think anybody was in any doubt that we beat Man United in that final. It was I suppose it was reminiscent of the Bayern Munich game in 85, where once we beat Bayern Munich, everyone was like, well, we're going to beat Rapid Vienna. It's just going to happen. Obviously, Man United were a bigger sort of threat than Rapid Vienna were in 85. But yet again, it was built on a solid defence, wasn't it? Not conceding. Yeah. South played well that game, scored a breakaway goal. So yeah, it'd just be nice to do it again, wouldn't it?
It's interesting that though, because you think you go back to then. That was how many years have we gone without winning silverware then? It would have been 8, wouldn't it? 8 years. So it's interesting you said that was the mentality going into that game against United in the final. Because I think even now, if we got to the FA Cup final, say we were playing, well, Man United were the best side in the country then, weren't they? So if we were playing Man City in the final, I don't think everyone would be going into it thinking we're definitely going to beat these. And I suppose that's what happens when it's been so long, isn't it? It's only been 10 years or whatever about winning silverware. I'm sure we'd all be like, yeah, obviously we can do it. But I think when you've gone so long, and it'll be 26 years, wouldn't it, this year, if we won a trophy, then all of a sudden it just adds that bit of extra pressure on you. People get a bit more nervous about things. And it just, obviously I'd love to be in the position, but I just think the mentality will be completely different. When arguably we've probably got a better side, maybe on par, maybe a little bit better now than we would in that. Obviously that team went through a weird. They were terrible, and then they actually were really good, weren't they? By the time Joe fully took over, but aside, I'd say that's on a par with that Everton team.
Easily, yeah.
Man City team is probably on a par with that United team. The gap's probably about the same, and I reckon if we got to a final against City, people would be like, "Oof, not feeling good about this."
Yeah, that's a really good point. I've never actually thought about it like that, but yeah, I suppose there was that feeling of not invincibility because we were shite, to be honest, but there was that feeling that there was a really good feeling about this team and what they've done since that November to get to claw themselves out of the bottom spot in the Premier League. I think we finished 14th or 15th that season.
Yeah.
But we finished relatively safe, relatively soon on. Really, I think we beat Ipswich away, a couple of games to go, and we were safe. So for them to do that was like a massive thing. And to leather Tottenham the way we did gave us the belief that, we can beat anyone now, which is a really mad thing to say about a team who were bottom on 3 points, was it, in November?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we must have sort of, that mentality mustn't have kicked in. Then,
maybe
because it's been so long. Maybe that's why now we're sort of because we've seen us blow it that many times now. Whereas then we hadn't.
Maybe if we get to that point though where we do beat a good side in the semi-final or something like that, then that'll change and the mentality will start to tweak a little bit. But maybe that's what tonight could do for us. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you look at it, we've got to be confident in this team now, haven't we? Because they've shown you can go toe to toe with anyone. Really, we've had some stupid defeats. But you could say that about anyone. I mean, looking at Spurs now, they got beat by Brighton. Liverpool got beat by Brighton. Liverpool beat Tottenham. So it's all over the shop. You can't call anything, can you? So I think we have just got to have faith in this team. Although looking at some of the score predictions, I don't think many people have, to be honest.
I thought they were quite positive tonight. I've not looked through all of them, but
there's not a great deal of positivity.
Yeah, but it does feel like a proper knife edge game, doesn't it? I've not seen the odds for it, but if you're a bookmaker, you'd imagine that there'd be nothing to choose between the two teams. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know who they'd make us favourite for it, because obviously we've been playing a bit better than them, but on paper, because of the two forwards they've probably got a better side, player for player, still in that regard. So obviously the Goodison thing, I don't know if that really comes into it or not when it comes to bookmakers anymore. But
yeah, I don't know. You kind of think you'd have to look at it, wouldn't you? Because we're not great at home, sadly. Yeah.
There's a lot of variables, isn't there, as well?
What's that?
There's a lot of because we'll become clear in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
They could play Harry Kane. They could have him on the bench. They might rest Son. I think we will probably be close to our strongest side. I think he might rest a few tonight, but not loads. It'd be interesting to see what Spurs do, because I think, speaking to Flav on the preview yesterday, he was under the impression they were going to be like full strength for this game. But they have got City on Saturday. They have got European games coming up. They have got a league against Manchester City to come, a few weeks later as well. So there's a lot going on for Tottenham at the moment. But they're in a funny place, aren't they? I watched a bit of the game against West Brom on Sunday, and they were all right. They got by because they had two class strikers on the pitch who scored the 2 goals in what was an otherwise forgetful game. But I think they've shown a lot of vulnerability recently, and I think they decide as well that if they did score tonight, I think they've shown a bit of fragility when it comes to trying to defend leads, and I think they're not quite sure whether they should go and attack or whether they should sit in, which feels like what the manager wants them to do. So maybe not the end of the world if we concede the first goal tonight. Obviously, they don't want us to.
Yeah.
A bit of an unknown quantity, Spurs.
It was interesting what you said on the match preview, because you were saying like it's weird to see a Tottenham team sit in and sort of hold on to a result when they've got that attacking flair up front, when they can probably just hammer teams out of sight and then just sit back maybe. But they do seem to like do that thing where they'll get a slight lead and then try and protect it, which it's very Mourinho, but it's not very Spursy, is it?
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. Like, and when you look at their team, that is the best part of their team, isn't it? The link up they've got Son and Kane. They play fantastically well together. The numbers speak for themselves. So them to sort of go away from that when they're winning a match is a bit weird, really, because you sort of keep them in the game as long as possible. But the dangerous side, with those two, Kane's got a great record against us, hasn't he? I think as we spoke about before the first game of the season. Whoever plays at right back's going to have a tough night against Son. Obviously, it feels at this point it could be like 4 different people could play there in the next 2 minutes.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We don't know. The defence is the big thing tonight, isn't it? Who's going to play where in the defence? It's like, you can't, would you go back to Keener and me? Keener and me? Oh, God.
Keener, yeah.
What's Marco Ancelotti going to pick tonight? Yeah, go back to Keener. And then, where to play Ben Godfrey? To stick him at right back? Again, which is out of position for him, really, isn't it? Seen the best of him on the left, either centre back or left back. So it's a tough one. But you've got to be very mindful of their front two. Got to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what we did really well on the opening day, wasn't it? We controlled them. Kane has, I think, he sets up Doherty, doesn't he, with a little chip over the top.
Yeah.
But apart from that, didn't really offer much at all. I think Coleman actually played really well against Son, didn't he, on the opening day?
He did. So, he had a really good early season, didn't he?
Maybe that's something he'll look at, but we'll find out in a minute. Just quickly go through some of the comments, and when the team comes through, let us know what you think about the team in the comments section. And Neil said, I'm nervous about tonight. Fingers crossed the lads put out the bag, picking 2-1 to the Blues. And Livavid has said about the 95 game, saying, I'll always remember Big Joe in the press conference sarcastically apologising that the media were not going to get their dream final. I missed the goal in the 95 final because I was hanging my head in frustration after Stewart hit the bar. I think probably a lot of people in the same boat.
There would have been a lot of people like that, wouldn't there? How good must Graham Stewart be? I mean, I know he's brilliant because he's got an FA Cup winners medal, but he should have buried that, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think that bit of commentary, I think, from Graham Beecroft on the radio is my favourite bit of Everton commentary ever. When he just screams, hits the bar. Obviously, Rideout tucks it away, but
that was a hell of a header by Rideout as well.
Yeah, because there's no pace on it, is there? He's got
no pace on the ball. Dennis Irwin, I think, is on the line, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a bit like obviously completely different circumstances, but Cleverley scored one, didn't he, against Newcastle? Very similar, last minute.
Oh yeah, last minute.
Yeah, I just panicked then because I've seen Chico Azul's fake team, but I've got the real team here if you want it.
Oh, is it out? Yeah, go ahead then.
It's Olsen in goal, Keane, Mina playing centre back. Looks like Godfrey right back, Dina left back, and then Decore, Davis, Sigurdsson, Iwobi, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and we've got 7 on the bench, including 2 goalkeepers. That's weird.
Strange.
Yeah, so no James on the bench, and no Andre Gomez on the bench by the looks of it either. So that's a bit peculiar. I don't know why. How many subs can you have in this?
I don't know. That's strange, that though, isn't it?
Yeah, so it looks like we've got 6 subs of a potential 9 there. Kane's on the bench for Tottenham, so their team is Lloris, Doherty, Alderweireld, Sanchez Davis, Højbjerg and Ndombele, Lamella, Bergwijn, Lucas, Son. So they're full strength, aren't they, without Kane aside, effectively. So
yeah.
So they've got 9 on the bench, and we've got 6 and 2 goalies. That's
bizarre. Because looking at that bench, the attacking options aren't great, are they? You've got Bernard, and that's it.
We got one, but Bernard, Onyango's on there, and Kunku's on there. The goalie is Virginia and Trier.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's only 18, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you can make 5 subs in this as well, can't you? So
that's strange, though.
I mean, but I like the team. To be fair, I think the team's fine.
Yeah, the team is fine. I think a lot of people were saying when they play Godfrey right back, as we said earlier, because Holgate hasn't been pulling up any trees really, and you've just got to get Ben Godfrey in the team somewhere, haven't you?
He's not played there since Southampton, has he? Where he got a bit of a chasing from Redmond and Bertrand as we played on the left-hand side for them. So, it's a big test for him, but he's come on massively since then, hasn't he? But I can't we've only named 6 subs and 2 of them are goalies. We've got 9 options.
Message to the board, isn't it?
Yeah. Message to the board.
Telling you.
Oh, when the transfer window's shut. Yeah.
Yeah, well played.
Let us know what your thoughts are on the team. Patrick Ridge saying 7 subs, 2 goalkeepers. It's 7.
He's come on massively since then, hasn't he?
Oh, wait there. I just started playing the stream there. Have I counted wrong? Yeah, 7. Sorry, we have. Yeah, Patrick's right. 7 subs. So the subs are Virginia, Trier, Holgate, and Kunku, Bernard, Coleman, and Onyango. So Onyango's not getting on there, is he? Really?
No,
he's not getting on.
I mean, I can't see a situation where Coleman gets on unless it's to waste some time at the end of the game, to be honest.
Yeah. Why have we got a kid goalie on the bench, but aren't having someone like Thierry Small on there?
Strange.
It's just a bit mad, isn't it? I don't get it. Do not get it at all.
It's the old Everton substitute Tom Bowler, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah. There must be someone from the reserves or something like that. Nathan Broad that's been doing, why not just lash him on? If you've got 5 minutes and I don't know. It just baffles me that. I just don't get it. But
Mo Besic could do a job here.
Oh God, why did we sell Balassi? That's what I'm asking after seeing.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Try for a player like that. This.
Yeah, but Gomez as well, bit of a weird one. I don't know if it's just because he's played 290 minutes in a row over the last couple of games. He needs a bit of a break. But Neil said, shame no James. I wonder what's happened to King and Gomez. King's cup tie, mate. People in the comments now. CG, the 7. Yeah, there is 7 subs, mate. Yeah, Patrick put me right on that. My head was spinning after seeing say. What do you think of the team there?
It's given us something to be baffled about, hasn't it? To be honest. It always as well when we're a bit confused about stuff that Ancelotti's done. Yeah, I find it odd that there's no other attacking options on that bench apart from Bernard.
Well, it's a bit of a risk if it goes for extra time, that isn't it, as well?
Yeah, massively, yeah.
How many of those lads are realistically going to get on? Holgate, Coleman, Bernard.
Yeah.
Does he bring on Yango on in a tight game against Tottenham? Does he bring in?
I know, and it could go to penalties.
Yeah, if I give it extra time and it's tight, then
yeah,
I don't think those lads are getting on the pitch.
No.
A little bit of.
Can you imagine how tired Sigurdsson's run up for a penalty is going to be if he's played 120 minutes?
Oh God! Someone will have to carry him to the middle, won't they?
Just wheel him up where guilty one step. Just do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that the starting 11's full of energy, though, isn't it? I think we'll.
Yeah, I mean that starting 11 can get it. Then the defence is probably as solid as we can get it.
Yeah.
Three massive centre halves playing across the back four, and Luca Dean. So yeah, I mean, it's good to see Tom Davison as well.
He had a great game, didn't he? On Saturday.
Played really well. I think the thing I liked about it, and I think I said in one of the previous games, is that he picks his head up and he looks up and he always looks to go forward, which is a big part of us scoring the 2 goals early on.
Yeah.
It's like Ancelotti must have said to them at half time, look, you need to just get the ball forward and have a bit of belief in yourselves. So they started to do that, and when the forward runs were getting made, he was picking his head up, making the run forward and playing a forward pass, and I think that's a big part of his game that some might get overlooked a bit, that he is always looking to play that forward through ball.
Yeah.
And when you got players making runs like they were in the start of the second half against United, it pays off. So it's good to see him in there because he deserves it after the game at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think he's just doing basic things really well at the moment. Just keeping it simple. There's that one moment at Leeds, wasn't there, where he lost it, which was a bit, that's the old Tom Davis. But apart from that, he's been pretty sound. But yeah, I'm not surprised he's starting tonight. But just one other thing I think that's going to be quite interesting. That Doherty's playing right back for Spurs. Richarlison gave him an absolute chaser on the opening day.
I did, didn't he?
Ran him ragged all afternoon. So I think if we're going to see Richarlison potentially get back into form at any point, this feels like it might be a good time for him, because with Digne playing behind him, up against a lad he's already got the better of this season,
Yeah.
He didn't score that day and he missed a couple of chances, but he just went past them so many times. And he leaves. I think he's good going forward, Doherty, isn't he? But a bit of a catastrophe at the back. He leaves a lot of space.
Yeah.
Could be a good night for Richarlison to get back to form. And I think he's not been great recently, but he's shown small signs, I say, against Leeds and against United, that it's maybe starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. He needs a goal, doesn't he? It's sort of like that's the only thing really missing from his performances now. He's putting the work in. He's playing pretty well. Not at the levels he was last season. You kind of think he wants a goal. You kind of think he needs to score just to get that off his back after the amount of goals he scored last season. He's getting nowhere near that this season. It'll be weighing heavy on his mind. So, I mean, it would be nice to see him rip him apart again today and get a goal. Big game for him, though, isn't it? It's like it feels like every game's a big game for Richarlison at the minute.
Their fullbacks are pretty average, aren't they? Ben Davies and Doherty, it feels like that's where you can exploit these. And I think the back four in general is just Alderweireld was probably the best centre back in the league a couple of years ago, but was probably seen better days. Dyer, seen him in the game against Chelsea the other night, where he just boosted Timo Werner for no reason. He can be quite rash, can't he? So I think there's goals there for us, definitely. I think Son's obviously a threat for them, and Dombele's been playing really well, hasn't he? He's
he has been.
Be interesting to see how we deal with him, but now I'm feeling confident, mate.
Yeah, I suppose it's all about how we handle that attack, isn't it? Because we can get it then.
Yeah.
Right, on that note, then, if you're feeling confident, we'll go to score predictions.
Let's.
So the first 3, I asked my dad and the kids. So my dad said 2-1 Spurs. Joe said 3-2 Spurs. Jay said 2-2 Spurs on pens.
Oh, good to see there's loads of positivity in the Roberts household then.
Oh, the Roberts is there. Adam Sutton said 1-1, but he put an asterisk by our 1.
Probably means also on penalties.
Good system, I think you're right.
Which means if that did happen, we'd be doing post-match at about 1 o'clock in the morning, which,
without that.
Committed to this thing, but come on, lads.
The A1-2, the birdies.
Mike's a bit of a shithouse, by the way, can I just say? Because he said on Subs Weekly last night that he thought we were going to win. And within the space of 24 hours, he's changed his mind. So, stick by convictions, Mike. Come on.
Yeah. So, and the Birdies is Tottenham, by the way.
Mm.
Rob Vera said 2-1 to the good guys, which I assume is us.
We'll see at full time.
Laura said scrappy 1-0 win will do for her. Hannah said an optimistic 2-1. I think Kate agreed with Laura, scrappy 1-0 win. And that's it. What do you reckon?
Win tonight, yeah. I've got a relatively good feeling about this game, which means we probably won't win, but I feel like we might win. So I think we might win 2-0.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-1. I'm going to go for the win as well. Book the Roberts trend there. Yeah, I think 2-1. I think they'll score. Although I thought this on the opening day of the season, and I know it's the first day, and teams aren't up to speed and that at that point. But we proper did the job on them, didn't we? We totally snuffed out any of their attacking threat when we were all kind of feeling the worst. Obviously, Alan had a great game that day, and he's not in today. So that's a big miss. And Højbjerg had a bit of a stinker.
He's got a lot better, hasn't he, for them recently?
Yeah, he's got a lot better since then. Because we were saying, weren't we, at the time, God we missed him.
Yeah.
Look up too much. And then he's got a lot better since then. So it'll be a different game. But yeah, as you said, we can get at that defence.
Yeah, that defence is really average, isn't it? Really average. So yeah, I think Darman, Richarlison, put on it tonight will cause them loads of problems.
Yeah, plus Lloris is always liable to chuck one in, isn't he?
Yeah, he can be a bit dodgy, can't he?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Any comments? Scores?
Let's have a look. Live at 2-0 Everton. David Snooks 2-1 to the Blues. A nice proper scare at the end when they bring Kane and he scores with 5 minutes to go. Live a bit positive first 11 as well. Yeah, that's it. James Joseph Cooper. The plan is obvious. After the United goal, 70 minutes, Virginia on and Olsen up front. We've been ahead of the curve on that, mate. Me and Les were calling
totally
Olsen up front weeks ago. So
pays dividends, doesn't it? Listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Carlo obviously watches us. So I'll just say as well, I predicted the teammates again today on the Pitch Sport app.
Oh, did you?
Our second game in a row, got spot on. Yeah.
Good stuff. Hopefully, your score predictions right as well then.
Yeah, I think I said we'd win on Saturday 1-0, so it wasn't really spot on there. But yeah, I think
one step at a time.
I think we can both say we're due one, aren't we? Me and you, mate. We don't really get them right very often.
I know. Every single week we do, we never get them right. Who's on post-match?
We've got Mose, Rob, and Adam Sutton. So, like I said, I'm just don't want it to be starting like 11 o'clock.
No,
these kick-off times are horrendous, aren't they?
Oh, they're awful. 8:15's just a real ball, like, isn't it? 8 o'clock bad enough, but that 15 minutes. So hopefully we'll see Mosey and his Fez again.
That would be great, yeah.
That would be nice.
The winning top news, yeah. Although I think Dave promised a few people that he'd have his black cap on if we won tonight, but he's working, unfortunately, so let's be on.
Side down.
Save it for Fulham on Sunday.
Job's a good one. Right, whatever you're doing, wherever you're watching the game, at home probably, enjoy it. Hopefully the Toffees win. Hopefully they win in 90 minutes so Matt doesn't have to get to bed about 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Come back for the post-match show. Up the Toffees.